host of SoCal Prep Report. Have we got a great show for you tonight? Of course, Tarek Fattal of the Daily News will join me momentarily. It's an interesting night. We got a lot of football games going on in the LA City section. Some great contests, in fact, in the Open Division. We'll talk about those a little later. We also have Anna Song on the program. She's the champion golfer in the LA City section this year. She shot a 67 for Palisades, led their team to a title, and she won the individual honor as well. And also Ray Fenton, the outstanding football coach in his 7th year at Los Alamitos. He's in the big game tomorrow night in Division I in the southern section. He's got a date with undefeated Long Beach Poly. But as we start tonight, Tarek Fattal, the biggest story is about a man retiring, Bruce Rollinson of Mater Dei. After 34 years as the head coach of the Monarchs, he's going to step down after this season.
Never heard of him. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, that's remarkable. There was a report earlier in the year saying that he was going to return and coach next year, and to kind of get that bomb dropped today, and they're going to play tomorrow night. I don't know if the timing has anything to do with it, but quite an interesting piece of news.
And what a way it would be to go out. He's already won 8 CIF championships in 34 years, and that's pretty good if you do the numbers. He's won the national title 3 out of the last 5 years. He's currently ranked number 1 in the country, 10-0. So he's just a few games, 3 games away from repeating as national champions. What a way to go out if it ends up being that way.
Yeah, and I've said this numerous times. Mater Dei is on this crazy season. They haven't been beaten. Elijah Brown, their quarterback, hasn't lost in what seems like 2 or 3 seasons now. I want to say he's 26 or maybe 27-0 as a starter. So they're the team to beat right now, and I don't see them losing anytime soon.
Last ad is Rollinson will step down. We don't know who the next coach is going to be. I would like to see Harry Welch come out of retirement and try to win a 4th state championship with a different school. Harry told me recently in an interview he's not against coming out of retirement. What a perfect place to come back to Mater Dei next year. The whole team returns next season.
Yeah, my vote would be for Ed Croson.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
No, I like him. He's a great guy.
I don't think, I would highly doubt any of those guys will be the next coach at Mater Dei, but we'll see, and that'll certainly be, kind of the whirlwind around when there's coaching vacancies at the collegiate level, who's going to take over. This is in this corner of the country, that's going to be a really, really hot job and a hot news take.
Well, we're in the middle of the playoffs, and there were some tremendous performances last week, and we're going to bring up these graphic package shows to you with the different credentials that some of these players had last week. Let's bring up the first game. Bishop Amonte 70, Murrieta Valley 49. Look what Aiden Ramos did. Over 300 yards rushing, 7 touchdowns for the Lancers. Then there's the brothers, the Bachmeyer brothers, Bear and Tiger, and they came out of the woods because they were brilliant in a losing cause. Look at those numbers.
I can't believe Bishop Amonte scored 70 points. Is that, okay, yeah, I'm a little bit confused by that. But either way, I know that they won. And you know what, Bishop Amonte, they've kind of been tested all year long. They've had to play defense, they've had to score points, and obviously in this one, they scored enough points.
All right, there's other great performances. We'll go to the next one. These are fun. Newberry Park 41, Miracosta 14. And this again is Brady Smigel alert. Lots of yardage, 43 touchdown passes as a freshman, most all-time now in the state of California.
Yeah, I tweeted earlier today, we got to stop calling him a freshman. And I say that because now at this with 11 games under his belt, 43 touchdowns, he's got over 3,000 yards passing. It's like he's not a freshman anymore, even though on paper he is a really, really great player.
His numbers are just crazy. Moving ahead, we still have more great numbers. How about this score? And Monrovia's got a tremendous football program, but the quarterback for Northwood out of Irvine, Eugene Mayata, 6 touchdown passes for the Timberwolves.
Anytime you can score that many touchdowns, you're usually going to win.
Well, usually if you score 56 like Monrovia did, you'd win, but not on that particular evening. Couple more to report. Great performances. This in the city section. This was the Corey Hall show as a wide receiver, but they moved him into the backfield and he scored 6 touchdowns, and they nipped Lincoln 42-41.
Cleveland's playing Fairfax right now. I think the score was 0-0 at the end of the first quarter, so quite the opposite of what was happening in this game. But, yeah, Corey Hall's the guy for them, and I like the Cavs. They're going to have a good season in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're looking really good, and Corey Hall's really great. And, of course, there's more to come because we have to always throw in North Hollywood. And look at Ronnie Gibson in this game, 369 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns. And, again, that's a wing T offense at North Hollywood that Coach Fair runs, 41-30 over Legacy.
North Hollywood kind of finished the season not very strong, so it's good to see them bounce back in the playoffs.
It really is. And we're looking at an update already tonight. We can tell you that Venice is leading Birmingham in the Open Division 14-10. This just updated. I would imagine they're in the third quarter there. So 14-10. Of course, Birmingham is the 2-time reigning Open Division champion in the LA City section. That game is at Venice because they're the number 2 seed. Number 1 is San Pedro, and they're in a battle with Eagle Rock right now. That game can go either way. Ray Fenton's going to have a battle tomorrow night. He's the head football coach at Los Alamitos. They have a date with the Jackrabbits of Long Beach Poly, and that's going to be the game of the week.
That is the game, yeah. Long Beach Poly, Los Al, and we've had kind of 2 weeks to wait for it, so it's kind of been marinating, and people have been waiting for it, and I imagine that's going to be the game everyone wants to be at on Friday night, tomorrow.
By the way, that Eagle Rock score with San Pedro is 10-6 Eagle Rock, I'm guessing in the third quarter. All right, let's bring in the coach, Ray Fenton from Los Alamitos. His team's had a terrific year. They're 8-2. Their only 2 losses early in the year to some national powers outside of the state. Coach, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate being here.
First and foremost, we got to get a comment from you. Your thoughts on Bruce Rollinson stepping down. I know you faced him a couple times in your career. What do you think? Startling to us.
Sad day for high school football when a guy like that who we all look to and like he's a guy for me that I can call at any time or send him a text and ask him questions about different things that maybe nobody else has ever experienced. And I think although he's leaving the sport, he's still going to be involved in some way. And I know that he'll answer that call or text message that I send him and get back to me. So it's not like we are just leaving or he's leaving football altogether. I think he'll still be around and still have that influence that he's had over the many, many years he's been involved in high school football. He's a great man and runs an unbelievable program. And it's going to be really interesting to see who's willing to take that spot.
You know, you had a couple battles with him. One of them didn't go your way at all, and the other one came down to the wire. You finished 0-2 against Rollinson teams, but it was fun for you to go battle the top team at Mater Dei when you had that opportunity at Los Alamitos.
And I was at Cypress at the time, and the first time we played them, the score was 49-0 at halftime, and we learned a lot of valuable lessons. And I think when you play at that level and you're not quite there yet, you get taught quite a few things that are super valuable. And then the next year, it went all the way down to the wire. We were up with a minute or so to go in the game, and they went down and scored on us, and then we were coming all the way back and then went down to the last play of the game. So it was a great measuring stick for us as far as how far we've come in that program. The interesting part about that, when people of those years, early 2000s, talk about that game from Cyprus, they talk about that time we beat Mater Dei. And the fact is, no, that we lost, but what people remember is how close we came, and really in their minds it's kind of flipped around that we got the W. But the fact of the matter is, it was a great football program, and it was 2 really good teams playing at that time, and we did lose. We were 0-2 against the Monarchs.
Coach, the big game tomorrow night against Long Beach Poly. Kind of 2 questions. What kind of crowd are you expecting? You guys share the same home field this year, correct? And then, so that'll be interesting. That's kind of the first end of the question. And the last end of the question, just, what do you expect out of Poly? What's something about them that will challenge your team?
I think the crowd's going to be outstanding. As soon as this got announced, it was on fire right away. Everybody was talking about it. The Twitter world was going crazy. And this is a matchup that everybody wanted. Whether you look at it from the outside or you're on the inside. The schools are 6.8 miles apart from each other. Our kids know their kids well. They have some kids on our team that started in our program and then went over there, and we have some kids that started over there and came over with us. So, that neighborhood rivalry is sometimes much more heated than just playing on the other side of the county. When you guys know each other so well. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be the crowd's going to be crazy. I believe our locals national champ locals and what they do in our student section is just unbelievable. It'll be fun environment as far as both sides going at it, and the tradition that Long Beach Poly has and what they bring with their band and their drill team and all that stuff that comes with Poly. It makes for an unforgettable environment, and that's what we've been pressing upon with our kids is that, as high school kids, you don't really necessarily think past the next day, but as guys who are experienced that of my age, you remember those days very clearly. And oftentimes, some high school football players, this is the best time of their life, and this is a game and the magnitude of the game that they'll remember forever. And we're just looking at it as an opportunity to create those lifelong memories. And I know that sounds silly, but that's the truth of it. It's something our kids will never, ever forget.
Coach, my question to you is how to score on them. I know you got Malachi Nelson, one of the best quarterbacks in the country, Lemon, the great receiver. You got weapons, but they've shut out 5 straight opponents. They've scored 280 points, and it's to 0 in the last 5 weeks. So how do you score against the Jackrabbits?
Well, they do a great job on defense. They play very fast, and they're physical, and they're very sound. They're not going to make mistakes that allow you to all of a sudden exploit something. That's not what they do. They expect to line up, and your athletes have to earn the right to get into the end zone. So you earn every yard against these guys. They average 46 points a game scoring, and they give up 7 points a game. And I think that's why they're ranked number 20 in the country. With those type of numbers and the opponents that they played. It's going to be a great challenge for us. We're excited for that opportunity. I think in the history of the two schools playing each other, we've only beat them twice. We've never scored more than 21 points against the Jackrabbits. So this is an opportunity for our guys to kind of cement their legacy. You talked about Malachi and Kai Lemon in the sense that we've been able to do some things the last 3 years that bringing LoSal back to the early 2000s and the mid-1990s. We won 3 consecutive Sunset League championships and went undefeated the last 3 years. And no team in the Sunset League has been able to do that since 1953. So this is something now we have another opportunity in front of us. It's going to take more than 21 points to beat these guys. And we can cement our legacy, talking about our seniors in the history of LoSal football, which is extremely impressive history.
Coach, my last one for you. I know at the beginning of the year you played on TV. You played some other programs out of state. How do you feel like those tough games prepared you for a game that you're going to have tomorrow night?
There's some times that you just can't teach in practice or in meetings or in anything, and when you have to go all the way across the country in Florida and play in the swamp, the real swamp, and against an outstanding and extremely talented American Heritage team, you get a lot of valuable lessons, just what I talked about earlier with the first time that we played Mater Dei. And I think we carried those lessons through the next week where we made some other type of mistakes against an outstanding Basha team who just upset the number-ranked team in the country in Arizona just 2 weeks ago. So, you're playing that level of football. You're learning that level of kind of lessons that come with the game that you can't simulate in practice. And I think that led us into our win over Servite and then Santa Margarita that kind of cemented, okay, we're on the right track. The mistakes that we were making early on, we're kind of fixing. And then in our tough league, we opened with the defending CIF champ Newport Harbor, and then great program as CDM, and then Edison was ranked I think 7th or 8th in the state before they lost last week. So that got us ready for our league, and then we were kind of banged up towards the end, so we've got healthy, and now we're ready to see that preseason, that type of caliber of team that we were able to play and compete against, that's going to pay off, because that was the whole process. When you play a schedule like we did in the preseason, was to get ready for league and then get ready for the tournament. And the tournament is tomorrow night. So let's see how it all rolls.
Well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck. Thanks for your time, your gracious amount of time on our program tonight on SoCal Prep Report. You've done a terrific job. It won't be easy against the Jackrabbits, but I know your Griffins will show up. Have a good one tomorrow night.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate what you guys do for high school kids.
All right, you got it, Coach. Thanks a lot. Should be a terrific game.
That is the game. I'll actually be at Pauley Pavilion covering UCLA basketball tomorrow.
Right.
But if there was a football game I wanted to be at, that's the one. That's the one. That's going to be really fun. I'll find a way to watch that game on TV while I'm at Pauley. That's for sure.
Well, there was a pretty good football game that we want to spotlight. I know that this is a team with two undefeated squads. This little package will tell you who the two teams are. But I might as well tell you. It's Charter Oak and Yorba Linda from last week. And we have the highlights. Again, these two teams were 10-0 coming into it. That's our spotlight game. Check this out. Your final score, 31-21. Yorba Linda just doesn't lose football games.
But I think they've only had one loss in 2 seasons. That's the team that was 10-0 last year and got kicked up to D2. And I think this is the correct division for them. And I think they might win a CIF title this year.
That wouldn't be a surprise. Now, speaking about never really losing, Granada Hills and girls volleyball in the city section won another championship. They beat their West Valley League rival Taft, and they did it quite handily. They're just a powerful team. They did it in 4 sets. And Tom Harp, he's the head coach at Granada Hills. He only wins championships, and he's done it for years.
It's all Tom does. It's kind of funny. If you talk to Tom Harp, he doesn't play any other big city section teams during the year because he wants to make sure that he has a high seed in the playoffs. And then when they finally hit the playoffs, they do things like this. So no one has any scout on them because they don't play any big competition. And, yeah, he wins another championship.
All right, that's the open division. Now, the top division in the southern section went to Sierra Canyon. I know we love Olivia Babcock, the outside hitter on her way to Pitt for Sierra Canyon. You were there, right? You watched this.
Yeah, I was actually at the LAFC MLS Cup Championship and then drove to Cerritos College and watched it. Great game. And everyone was surprised. It was a sweep. Everyone was ready for a 5-set thriller. Everybody, both teams, both coaches. Sierra Canyon really whooped them, and that was that.
Surprising. Not that they won it, but like you said,
Correct.
They won it in 3 sets. Have you ever shot 67 on the golf course? Or
Never.
66?
Never. Not even in a video game.
No, Anna Song has done both. At Balboa. And Anna Song is this tremendous 15-year-old golfer from Palisades High School. She led the Dolphins to the city championship as a team. She also won the individual title with a brilliant 67. We're going to bring her on now. She's always smiling. She's got a 4.0. And she's with us, and it's great to have Anna aboard. And I know it's been a long day for you. You played in the regionals this morning. You had to go up early and do some golf. Tell us a little bit about your day and how it turned out. I know you said you started at, 4:45 in the morning?
Yeah, so I woke up at 4:45. We left around, I think, 5:30 to 5:45. We had to get to Brookside before 7, and it was 39 degrees.
And you shot a 75, 76?
I shot 76, so three
Okay.
over.
So were you happy with your round? I know you didn't win the regional championship, but did you feel good about what you accomplished today?
I feel like today definitely could have gone a lot better, but it was just a great way to kind of come together and celebrate the end of such a great season with an amazing team. So I was just really happy about that.
Anna, tell us about your game. Do you hit the ball long? Are you great? Is your short game good? What's the best part of your golf game?
I'd say the best part of my golf game uh, right now is actually my putting. Yeah, I've been working on that um, quite a lot. And I think it's just a really important part of the game that sometimes people kind of generally tend to overlook. Um, but I've just been really working on that the past couple of months.
There's a golf term, horses for courses. And twice you got these great scores at Balboa, shooting 67 in the city finals and in your league final, 66 there. So what about that course made you a horse on that course? Why were you so successful at Balboa?
Um, I think it's because I like the layout of the course. To me, it seems pretty wide, so I feel like I have a lot of freedom to just kind of like go out and play and not have to worry about, trees on the right, trees on the left. I feel like I have a lot of freedom on that course.
What about the work ethic? When we think of golfers, ones that are really good like yourself, you're always at the range, you're always at the putting green, you're always, how much time do you put into your game? And then I have a kind of a two-part question. Your season's over, you just mentioned it. Do you take a little time off? Or are you right back out on the course tomorrow? I mean, so just mention, so just to recap, like how much time you put into your game, and then are you giving yourself a little break?
Um, I definitely put a lot of time into practice. Usually after school, I go straight to practice and stay till it gets dark, then come home, do homework, all that. But coming off with this off season, I think I'm definitely gonna give myself a little break just to
Good.
catch up on everything. Um, yeah, but starting next year, um, I think I'm going to do a lot of prep work during this off season and just prepare for summer events in this upcoming recruiting season. So yeah.
It's interesting. You're a wily veteran now. You're 15 years of age, but you started, I heard, when you were 7. So how'd you get into it? Who started you? And do you feel like a veteran now, like you've been doing this for 8 years?
I did start when I was 7, and my dad actually got me into golf. So he played tennis and golf growing up, and so he introduced me to golf, and I just started in my backyard, just hitting balls against like a net. Um, but I have been doing this for 8 years, and the great thing about golf is that you're always learning. You can always improve, just like any other sport. So while I feel like I've been doing this for 8 years. I still definitely feel like there's so much I can learn and so much I can take away from this game.
Okay, I asked you what the best part of your game is. You kind of just mentioned it right now, improving. Okay, if you had to pick one element of your game you need to improve on, or something you're going to really grind on this summer, or well, this summer, we're not even close to the summer yet, maybe like in the off season is what I meant. What's that going to be? What's the aspect of your game you're going to improve on?
Definitely chipping, without a doubt. Um, I definitely need to work on chipping. It's cost me sometimes this season. So during this off season, I'm definitely going to work on that.
Well, Anna, congratulations on being what I call the champion golfer in the LA City section. I know that's kind of a ripoff on the Open in the British Open, but you're the champion golfer for the LA City section. You got 2 more years to defend your crown. I'm sure you'll play very well. Congratulations to your teammates as well as the Dolphins won the overall title. Thank you for joining us and continued
Thank you.
success. All right, thank you, Anna. She's a
Thank
4.0
you.
student too, so she does great in the classroom.
I had to ask, time off is really important. These athletes are so dedicated.
Right.
When I was playing basketball in college, when the season was over, I didn't touch anything round or orange for like a week, 2 weeks, man. It's healthy for you. You get away, eat potato chips on the couch. I mean, just chill, man. Get away from the sport a little bit, and then you come back and you start the grind again. So hopefully she gets a little time off.
Some updates. Just got an update. Garfield 21, Franklin 16. That's fairly late in the game in the open division in the LA City section. So it looks like Garfield may hold on. I don't know. San Pedro's ahead of Eagle Rock now, 17-10. And there's a 16-0 game. I think that's the Bell Eagles logo I'm looking at. Yeah, that's Bell. They're leading late. Now we got Banning in the upper division in the open ahead of Roosevelt 19-16. So great games there. But I do want to talk about a couple games that we got going tomorrow. We have Mission Viejo and Corona Centennial in Corona. This figures to be another great game.
Every D1 matchup is good, period. And that's going to be, man, that's a, right? Los Alamitos, Long Beach, great game. This is like great game A2. Like, they're both amazing.
Yeah, I like Matt Logan at Corona Centennial. His quarterback, Izzy Carter, going to Arizona State. I kind of lean toward Centennial at home, but Mission Viejo is a great, great team. Their only loss is to Long Beach Poly, 35-30. The next one we want to talk about, I know you've seen these guys, Sierra Canyon and Sarah of Gardena.
It's a rematch. Sierra Canyon went down to Gardena earlier in the year in Mission League play and beat them. So, gosh, it's kind of cliche. They always say it's hard to beat a team the second time, and that very well could be the case. The only thing I'll say about these two teams, they're kind of mirror images of themselves. They both like to run and don't really want to pass. So we'll see who can stop the run and make the other team pass tomorrow night.
Next up, Division 4, Newport Harbor 7-4 at Newberry Park. And you can see that the Panthers have had a great year, 9-2. And, of course, this is kind of our Brady Smigel watch. Is this going to be the last 100%. Game of his freshman year?
Every corner, like every time there's a milestone he needs to kind of hurdle over, or the next feather in his cap, so to speak, whether it be touchdown milestones or yardage or whatever. He had his first playoff game last week when, here we are in the quarterfinals. What's he going to do? And he's at home, too. So we'll see. That Newbury Park fan base gets really, really up for games. So that'll be a really fun atmosphere.
So will this last one we're going to look at in the southern section. We'll go back to D1, of course, the feature game, Poly 10-0. Have been kind of hidden because they play in a league where they dominate the Moore League. They don't have much competition. Like I said, they shut out their last 5 opponents. And now they're obviously going to get tested. Los Alamitos is big time.
It's going to be a great game. I like Los Al in that game, and let me tell you why. I just think in high school or even the collegiate level, not always in the pros, depends on the sport, but in football, if you have the best player on the field, you got a chance, and that's going to be Malachi Nelson. He can put the ball wherever he wants to. So give me Los Alamitos in that game, but it would not surprise me if Poly won.
Hey, I just got an update. I like this score. North Hollywood 35, Marquez 21. Again, I went to Huskyville, and they were hideous when I was there, so it's good to see now the score is up. Keep this one up, Larry. We may go out on the show with this one up, but that's great. Scott Ferry, we had him on the program. He's got that wing T offense. We just saw his guy Ronnie Gibson ran for almost 400 yards last week. They got a great football team over there for their level.
You were talking about it before the show. You were an honor roll student at North Hollywood, weren't you?
Oh, yeah, I was big time. I still don't know how I made it through the school. I mean, I got to a certain age, and they just pushed me out, I think. They don't want to push Birmingham out of the playoffs. They were down 21-10 to Venice. They've cut it to 21-18. Is this a fourth quarter score, do you know, Larry? It's in the fourth quarter. So Gondoliers 21, Birmingham 18. Birmingham hasn't lost in 5 years to a city section team.
Correct. Yeah, it's been a long time, and I've kind of said this all year, and these are words from Jim Rose, the coach. If there's a year to beat us, right, it's this year. They're young, a little bit of inexperience, so this could be the year. And it could be also the flip side. Like maybe it's Venice's year. They've got a good team. They score a lot of points. Why not?
Yeah, and Venice won the D1 title last year, brought all their players back, and now they're in the open division. They have a chance, and they're ahead late against Birmingham. Tarek, we'll talk to you next week.
Really quick, speaking of D1, Dijon Stanley has like over 200 yards rushing already. Granada's up big on Southgate. Yeah. That might be the team to beat in Division 1.
Yeah, I think Granada will win.
Just quick ad real quick.
No, that's a good ad. You got any more ads?
No, that's it. I'm spent.
Okay. You and me both. For Tarek, I'm Randy. That's going to be a wrap. We thank Ray Fenton at Los Alamitos. Good luck to his football team tomorrow night. And, of course, Anna's song, the golfing champion from the LA City section from Palisades. For our entire clan here at LA 36, I'm Randy for Tarek. We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.